Call the meeting to order, the meeting of the Downtown Development Authority on Monday, September 9th, 2024. Can we all rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do we have a roll call?
Stauffer,
Here.
Reska,
Here.
Herrick,
Here.
Wingelmeyer,
Here.
Delaney,
Here.
Elliott,
Here.
and Cooksey.
Here. And that's everybody?
Yep.
Awesome. You have in your packet the minutes from last month's meeting. Are there any comments, questions, additions, deletions? If not, can we have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved as written. Next on the agenda, we have the agenda approval.
Oh, Ms. Stauffer,
Yes, sir.
we also need to do the special meeting minutes as well. Sorry, I didn't realize that. We should have did both.
Was that in the board packet? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes,
it is.
okay, there they are.
It was bundled up. So
Yes,
I
sir.
did read them.
So I just took the motion as
Okay,
going
perfect.
for both of them.
We'll do that.
Okay. Okay. You have also the agenda for this evening. Are there any additions, deletions, comments on the agenda? If not, can we get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The agenda is approved. Financial report. Would you like to go over that, Mr. Clem?
So you,
Is there anything?
you had asked me
particular?
about the two columns that had zeros in them. I don't know if anyone else noticed that. I asked Clerk Bigger about that, and she said it was just she was working on them, and so it didn't show it as an adopted budget when she sent it to me, so it didn't put in our budget into those columns, so that's why it didn't show up, so.
And
It will be
What
there.
he's referring to is the page that shows the original budget for 24-25, and I think we would like to see what our budgets are, and then the year-to-date balance and activity against that. And right now, they are zeros, and they were zeros last year, or last month as well.
So is she?
So she knows. Now, actually, she sent me the one that has it if anybody would want it, so.
Gotcha.
Okay, awesome. Were there any other questions or comments on the financial report? If not, can I get a motion to approve the financial report?
Motion to approve the financial report as presented.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The financial report is approved. At this time, I'd like to open up for public comments with items related to the agenda. Is there anybody that would like to speak to items on the agenda? No? Okay, we'll go right into new business then. The first item under new business is to accept the resignation of Tina Embry.
Yeah, so I received an email, actually received it just before the board meeting last month, but I didn't see it until after that. Tina would like to resign from the board. She thanks everyone for the opportunity to be a part of the board and helping what she did, but just with she has her own job that she works through the day, and plus trying to run the business here in town as well as just kind of taken over a lot of her time. So she didn't feel that she would be able to put in what she'd like to on the board, so.
Do we have to do a roll call then or a motion?
Do motions for
Motion,
it, yeah.
okay. Can we get a motion to accept Tina's resignation?
Motion to accept Tina Embry's resignation.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
No discussion? I have discussion.
You can have discussion, yes.
I would like us as a board to look into the process on how we select board members and develop some sort of policies and procedures on that moving forward, so that we are, as I think I said a few months ago, looking for individuals that bring to the board skill sets that we need to help complete who we are, so that we can continue to move forward in the direction we're going. That's all I wanted to say.
No, I agree.
In the selection process, once this is recognized.
And in the organization committee, we are looking at our bylaws and potentially making changes to the bylaws, so that would be the perfect opportunity.
That was my question, if it was a bylaws.
Yeah.
As it stands now, doesn't the village president have the
Yes.
discretion of?
Is that
Yes,
our
that's-
bylaws, or is that
So I would
village
say-
council?
No, so that's pursuant to the village charter. The president
Village
has
charter.
all appointments. Now, I think it would be proper, and I think the village president would probably be open to a process in which DDA board members may be vetted and then made a recommendation to the president. But at the end of the day, it's the village president that has the selection
Okay.
upon approval of the council.
That's
Is-
correct.
I think we're just
That's-
looking for a voice.
That's
Yeah.
the procedure I'm accustomed to in my past DDA experience. We had a mayor, but same difference, is that the board would review applications, and then based on those, and possibly even call for interviews and have discussions with the candidates, all things that you probably don't have time for. And we could then look for who we felt would best fit the needs of the board at that time, based on other people that are already on the board. We tried to have a cross-section of businesses represented and things, so we didn't have like 3 physicians per se or whatever. So we had a nice representation of the business community. And then, just like Mr. Walker said, we then presented our recommendation as a board to the mayor, and they would then take it to the council to be approved.
Okay. Item 2 on the new business is tech and in your town funds.
Yeah, so if you remember, each year through Main Street, Oakland County, we receive 2 reimbursement funds. One is called In Your Town Training, which can be training of any kind, whether it's board training or business training, director training. And then also tech funds, which can be used really just about for anything that, extra that we're looking to do within the DDA. I've talked to several of the committees and getting different ideas of what they think. My recommendation for those, this year they're actually combining those 2, so there's not going to be 2 different funds, it's just going to be one thing, but used for both of those. We have to approve as a board that this is what we want to move forward with doing. You can change that at some point if we, decide something, then later on decide, well, no, maybe we should do this. That's fine as well. I'm going to give recommendations tonight, but you don't have to decide this now, but just know moving forward that before, actually it would have to be in the October meeting if we don't decide tonight. It would have to be an October meeting.
How much are the funds, just remind us?
So for the training, it's $1,500, and for the tech funds, $7,000. That fluctuates a little bit each year depending on the funds that they get from the county, but it's around that.
So we have to decide in the October meeting on how we would like to spend those?
Yes. And like I said, you can change it, they're fine with that, but just to start that process, you have to decide. And so I just kind of wanted to put it on there tonight, and just put up my recommendations, what I think, but if you want to talk about it and then decide next month, you can do that as well. But what I am suggesting is using part of the tech funds to get a new sound system. The DDA has needed a new sound system. The one that we got, I think it was the second DDA director bought it, so it was several years ago. And then also the promotions has talked about getting our own selfie station. so that we can use it at events and, anytime we have it, because we looked at renting one, and just to rent it for one, something like that is like $500. And so, I think, do you remember how it was like 1,000 or something, I think, to buy one. So, we thought that maybe that was a good way to, use that. And then I also think that you should allocate some money also to go for training for the new director. So we do have some training funds, but really, that goes to go each year to be a part of Main Street. They strongly urge to almost require you to go to the Main Street Conference every year, which is great. It's a great conference, but that's pretty much our training budget. But you can use this money to help train the new director. And I would suggest, it was the track I was on is through National Main Street. They have trainings for directors. You can become a certified Main Street director. So I would suggest that they do that as well. And so I would just think putting away some of that, the extra funds to help that new director would be a good idea.
What does the board think? Do we want to take action on this meeting, or do we want to bring it up next meeting? You want to take Nick's recommendations?
Sooner the better.
I think Nick's recommendations are viable.
Agreed.
Okay. Do we get a motion? Is that your
I'll-
motion?
I'll make a motion that we take the tech and in your town funds and allocate towards a selfie station, a sound system, and training.
Second.
Is that a roll call because it's financial?
Yeah, probably.
Yes. Roll call, please.
Gotta get to the right one. Herrick,
Yes.
Wingelmeyer,
Yes.
Delaney,
Yes.
Elliott,
Yes.
Cuxy,
Yes.
Stauffer,
Yes,
and Raska.
Yes.
great. Next on new business is our Dickens Festival support, and I am assuming, Mr. Raska, you're going to talk to that.
I can.
Okay.
For those of you that may not know, 2 Mondays ago, it became official that I am stepping in as the new director of the Holly Dickens Festival. And with that comes some big shoes to fill, because obviously it's been a successful festival, and George has done a good job in the past. And in order to grow a festival, or even keep a festival to the level that it currently is, it takes finances, obviously. Little history on the festival: it was originally started by the business community. Some retailers got together and said, how can we bring business into the town during the holiday season so that our businesses can be successful throughout the holiday season? And they created it as a destination. Come during the holiday season to the Holly Dickens Festival. And the businesses were very active and very supportive in putting the festival together. It's evolved over the years. There's been a lot of ups and downs. From what I understand, all of it before my time, but we have a large group of volunteers that dedicate 3 weekends of their life at a very busy time of the year to make sure that this community has a beautiful festival that is very well received by those that come into our community. I've spoken to many of the businesses in the community, and those 3 weekends are by far some of the best they have throughout the entire year. As far as their business goes. So I was hopeful. I put one of the sponsorship pamphlets in front of you of some sponsorship opportunities that we put together. There's all different levels available, and there's some specific items available. And so people in the community have opportunities to support and things like that, but also larger sponsorships that perhaps businesses could step up and support. So I was just hopeful that this evening that the DDA, since we represent the business community and are here to help support them, would consider a sponsorship.
I know personally, as a business owner, and during this time frame, we do a significant amount of business, and I think the DDA as a whole benefits from the Dickens Festival. And in my personal opinion, I think we should be a title sponsor. I think it should be brought to you by the Holly Dickens, the festival brought to you by the Holly DDA. I think that we should be front and center on that. It is a fair amount of money, but that's my opinion. I think that it just benefits us all.
I agree.
I agree as well.
I'd like to make a motion that the DDA is a title sponsor for the Holly Dickens Festival.
I second.
Nick, can you do a roll call on that one? since
Sure can.
it's monetary.
Wingemeyer?
What sponsor? What sponsor are we looking at?
The title one,
Big
title sponsor.
Yes.
Delaney?
Yes.
Elliott?
Yes.
Cuxey?
Yes.
Stauffer?
Yes.
Raska?
Yes.
What about Holly?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
No, he didn't call your name.
I didn't hear you call my name. So I was
Oh,
just
because
waiting.
I had to start with the new, and you're at the top last time, sorry. I tried to rotate,
Don't forget Holly.
and then I missed you. And Herrick?
Okay, I would encourage one of our committees, potentially promotions, to figure out a good use for the 8 VIP seating. I don't think it should go to any of us. It's just, again, my personal opinion, but maybe there's some opportunities there to do some promotion on that.
That'd be awesome. Thank you for your support.
Okay. Old business, we have none tonight. So we're going to move right into public comment. Does anybody have any comments on anything? Jen?
Jennifer Clem, 1748 Hannah Drive. Got my name up. First, I want to thank you guys for all of your hard work and your dedication. It's been a joy and pleasure to watch you guys volunteer your time. For our community. Your work on the board and the 4 committees has improved our community as a whole. In the last 4 years, you have held events that brought people here to spend their hard-earned money. You have finished design projects from years ago and added many of your own projects. You've worked through data provided by Oakland County and through your own surveys. You have worked on the vision, you've created work plans and completed many of those plans. Around $1 million in grants have gone into Holly, allowing you guys to be fiscally responsible with your budget to have large projects that you could do. I also wanted to give a shout out to Hillary Fitzbender. She has such a big heart for Holly and everything within it. She works round the clock to recruit volunteers and properly staff all of your events. And she gets happy, healthy volunteers. The word has gotten out, and other groups covet her and her work also. So thank you guys for everything you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? Yes, Hillary?
So now I know I'm gonna cry.
I'm sorry.
I'm already crying. So, Hillary Allgaier, 121 Valley Street, and, my main comment is to Nick, gosh. I'm sorry. A good leader leads by example, and working with Nick over the years, he has shown me just that. More often than not, he was the one doing the grunt work to do everything that we needed to do to get the job done for events and cleanups and everything. Him and I worked closely together on all of the things. And Nick, you've served with integrity and grace. And you've got way thicker skin than I do, by far. It's brought me a great amount of joy to serve with you, and you have really big shoes to fill. So I pray that you guys are able to find somebody with half the heart of Nick Clem. Circling back, I didn't think I wanted to talk about anything on the agenda, but since the Dickens Festival support, I have actually accepted the volunteer coordinator position to help with Dickens this year. So And I'm glad that the DDA is in support of that because I want to take my people with me for the ride. So I've served the DDA board for 8 years, and I was actually really surprised to learn of the DDA seat appointment on the agenda for tomorrow night's council meeting. I myself put in a form, another volunteer that has worked closely with me for years, she also put in a form, and we didn't even get a phone call, nothing, no contact. So I'm hoping that circling back to putting some policies and procedures in place, we need to have a consistent policy and procedure for this. And I'd also like to remind you, the last time that one of the DDA board appointments went awry, it ended up costing the village over $15,000 in attorney's fees from a lawsuit from a disgruntled person. So if that's not enough to inspire a consistent and clear policy, I don't know what else is. And then I'd also like to point out that the next time people talk about, well, what happened to Carrie Nation and why don't these things happen? It's because the people that care and serve don't get a phone call. Thank you.
Thank you, Hillary. Any other public comment?
Hi, Amy Hillman, 6053 Great Lakes Drive. I'm actually out in the township, but I work at Holly Township as the assistant to the supervisor and the code enforcement officer. I'm a volunteer with Dickens. My husband owns Hillman Roofing. My dad owns the laundromat, so I'm thick with it. But I have always seen Nick all times of the day, as well as his family. So thank you to all of you for all the dedication that you have showed to this community, and I know that we'll continue to see you. I'm so happy for you. Great job. I know you're going to do a great job in Beaufort where you're headed. I'm really happy to see all these really successful business owners really taking charge and stepping up and donating your time to a board. Tina actually also just had a severe car accident. Her son was in a severe car accident, so I know that that would probably have been coming anyhow due to that, but I know that her time on this board was important for her to see the inner workings. And my dad's guilty of it too, is that, they come and they ask things and I don't, they're not helping me and they're not doing this and that. I think that it's good to make sure that people come in, and when you were talking about the VIP seats, and even the DDA, and I know that there's probably something with Oakland County, if you were to bring in some of these smaller business owners that maybe you don't see taking part in things and invite them in to kind of show them how the inner workings, and I go through that at the township too, like let's invite them in so that we can put away some of the assumptions that go into looking from the outside. So I'm really happy to see all of you. Thank you again. I love my community. I'm really going to be sad when they move our offices out of downtown. But the DDA is more than downtown, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's something that would be great if, for any type of marketing to really let people know what the DDA is, what the function is, and how it serves the community. I'm really excited to see you, supporting Dickens. I agree. I think that is something, we have the opportunity to come together, and we have a really strong downtown, thanks to Nick, thanks to Jerry. There's a lot of people that want to help, and I think that they maybe just need that nudge, that invite. So there's a lot of future opportunity, and I know that you're going to have a hard time replacing your director, but I know that you will do well. So thank you for all that you do. Thank you for the Dickens support. I'm excited. And thank you, Nick, for all of your time and all of your grace.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other comments? No? Okay, we'll move into committee reports. Promotions, do you have a report?
Yes. Promotions met on August 22nd. We talked about a lot of things. The first thing on the agenda, Holly, I'll let you talk about your every other Tuesday because you've been putting that together. But obviously Holidays was last weekend. I heard it was a success. I know the cafe was very busy. So we talked about that and what was going on. We have Witches Night Out coming up on October 4th. We talked a lot about the road closures and kind of where we wanted to put the porta potties and all of the important things. We're going to be doing a scarecrow contest. So we talked about having the QR code like we did last year. Busy night, always a fun event. So excited for that one. I know this isn't a DDA sponsored event, but we still talked about it because it's a big event where a lot of people come into downtown. Is the Harry Potter event on October 25th. I think she's getting music. We'll get the full details of that whole event, but that's always a fun one. We talked about a lot of different options and what's happening. Right now, I think she had over 25 businesses involved, which is spectacular. So, and the next day is Halloween, which the Harry Potter event will carry on. They're going to have kid-friendly events, and then of course Halloween is put on by Parks, but still involves all of downtown and trick-or-treating in downtown. And again, talking about leaving those porta potties there for that whole time, and then extending it into Ladies' Night Out, which is November 1st. One of the new things that we talked about doing for Ladies' Night Out is having the Fall Ladies Weekend with a phenomenal Friday kickoff, and we're going to do a big reveal. Basically, the stores that want to decorate for Christmas, going to decorate for Christmas, and then basically have that big reveal on Ladies' Night Out. So we're still putting those details together, basically theming it out as Holly for the holidays, which is a great thing. Obviously, we want to get as many people downtown. And then I know there's some talk about doing a roper romp on Friday night, so we still have to get all those details together so we can publicize that. We talked a little bit about Dickens Festival and all the things happening there, which is really exciting. The next meeting is September 16th at 5:30 at the Holly Cafe. Lots of things happening. This is a busy time of year, so we're putting all the details together.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Okay, design.
Design committee met, and just so everyone knows, the next design committee meeting is on September 25th. We have established that we meet the fourth Wednesday of every month. It's at 5:30, and with the transition in the office and not being able to have access to the office for after hours, our meetings will be at the police station until we change that. So until further notice, we'll be at the police station. We met, we had a lot of positive feedback on our post that Holly did for us about the new trees that were planted in Ganshaw Park and how much people are really enjoying the fact that they can see the lake a little bit more and that type of thing. There's still more that's going to be done with that. Working closely with Joe from Parks and Rec on that and his committee. And so that's exciting. And in addition to that, the wayfinding signs that have been in the works for 2 years are getting done and hopefully will be installed in the next week or so. So that will be good. They are going on each end of Battle Alley to help promote and encourage people to patronize the businesses that are in Battle Alley. And that was funded by a grant that Nick received for us some time ago. So I'm hopeful that that'll get installed shortly. There was also some social district signs that needed to get put up, and I believe they're up now. And so that's doing good. So thank you to Brian from the DPW and his team for getting that done. Future opportunities on the design committee with the departure of our executive director. All the tasks and projects have been reallocated to all these various and sundry committees. So I was fortunate enough to receive the relocation of the depot. So we certainly have. So that'll be moving forward in some way, shape, or I have a lot to learn on that topic, and I have already met with a couple folks, and very excited to have that project move forward. I know there's a lot of talk going on around town about how we've collected enough money and everything's all set with the depot, and that I understand is not exactly true. So once again, I'd like to clarify that we've collected enough money to move the facility, but now we need the rest of the money so that we can actually finish the project, which is bring the interior back to its original historic value, and landscaping and probably some plumbing and electrical if that's what we want. I would imagine a light or two in there would be good, and things like that. So the depot is definitely a project on the design committee's view at this point. And last but not least, I'm adding on to the design committee some aspect, and I don't know to what yet, but we will be adding some sort of community art to our task that we'll be looking into, because we lack in that department.
Okay, great. Economic vitality.
Hello. We did meet on August 22nd. Primarily, we really reviewed and are trying to just update and work through our existing work plans. We did get some input from Tim Colbeck from Oakland County on a couple of issues, so we tried to integrate that in. With all the turnover we've had and the number of player changes, we're really trying to work on reassigning some of these tasks and get down to some very specific actionable items. So progress made.
Great. Our last couple organization meetings have been kind of slim. I may have to do a little bit more recruiting of members to help us out. But one of the tasks that we do want to undertake here shortly is looking at our bylaws, and they haven't been updated in a while, and see if there are any changes that we want to make to those. Our next meeting will be on the 19th at 5 o'clock, and we'll have that at the coffee shop since we can't meet here. Okay? I'll get a message out on that. Okay, director report.
So just as, this week I'm kind of preparing things for the next person and for you guys that are going to kind of take the load until that person gets here. So just for each of the committees, I've created folders for each of them and put, our latest work plans, made notes on them for where we're at. I have all of our meeting notes in there, any contacts, things like that are all within those folders. So, and Linda's going to be, in and out with the office, and so maybe just touching base with her, to get those to help within the committees, and then she'll be able to help also if you need, to make some of those contacts as well. Something else along those lines I was going to say. So I've just been setting up for the next person. I have a, transition folder for the next person that has all the contacts and all that type of stuff as well. And Linda and I met today, went over everybody's work plans just so she kind of knew where everybody was at as well. And we're going to meet tomorrow as well and kind of continue some of that. So, but with that, I did want to do kind of a little, farewell thank you. Now following, Jenny and Hillary, boy, that's tough. But, I wrote it down because I have to read it, otherwise I'd be like Hillary and Jenny. But I just wanted to say that how fortunate I've been to be able to work with all of you on the board the last few years. I really think that what we have right now is one of the best combinations of boards of the DDA that we have had. And the next director is going to be lucky to have you all backing them. And really, you're more than bosses for me. You've become friends and family. And we've worked together to make our home a better place, and I think we really have done that. And through the last few years, we've led the way really through some really tough times in the village. I think some of the tougher times that the village has had, outside of maybe the big recession in 2008. You know, we've had some tough times as far as, if you remember, I was hired in the fall of 2020, right when COVID was at its full force. And we had to learn to navigate those unknown times, find ways to work with what we had, and, you know, navigate through all that and still make things happen. And it just seemed like we were just starting to feel relief from that when one of the things that anyone in the downtown dreads the most would happen, and the fire happened. And, you know, and plus we struggled the last few years with a weaker economy, you know, the last few years that hasn't just affected us, it's affected not just the state, but the nation. Small businesses are struggling right now. But through each of those issues, we found ways to navigate through all of that and continue to climb, I think, and grow and get better. And that wasn't just because of me, but because of our team that we have. And that's so important to have, from our board members to our many committee members that we have, our businesses, our building owners that help make things happen. That's why that got done. It was a team effort from everybody. And through all of that, for the most part, the board has stuck together through those tough times, and we really worked at moving forward with our vision. And that is so important, and I just hope you guys continue to focus on that vision of moving our downtown, or our DDA district, our downtown, the Main Street program forward. And, you know, I've told people that say, you know, once they find out and they call me or email me how terrible it is that I'm leaving, I tell them that you guys will find another good worker and that can do good things. And they will continue to do good things here. And that's easy because Holly is just a great place by itself, you know, to do that. But you will be hard pressed to find someone that has had as big of a heart as I have had for the last 25 years of volunteering and working here in the village and getting to know everybody. It wasn't always easy. There were times where I was working 4 jobs for my family, and then I'd come here at night and volunteer and do things. And but I did it because I loved the community. You're going to find I mean, I don't usually toot my own horn, but you're going to find it's going to be hard to find somebody with as big a heart as I had, but also with a family that sticks as close as mine has through these years. And helping make Holly a great place. From the time that our girls were born, they would ride alongside of us in the golf cart while I watered flowers and we weeded, and they would come to us to all the events and volunteer at all the parks things and the events that go on. They would roll their eyes whenever we'd go downtown because we couldn't walk through the downtown without somebody stopping to talk to us when we were going somewhere, you know, probably get Ziggy's. And, but when you hired me, you hired a crew that all loved Holly. And so I know it's going to be hard to replace that. And I really hope, though, that you do find someone that is just like that, because Holly deserves that. And of course, you know, thanks to Jerry, and at the time, you know, those that hired me, Dick Roselle and Lisa Clark, were who brought me forward to the board that voted on me. They took that chance with me to be the next director. The staff in the office, they're just phenomenal. And I don't know how well you guys know them, but they work hard at what they do and helping me with a lot of things. And of course, people like Brian and Chief Watson and Chief Narsh and Debbie, who have come alongside me and helped me navigate learning about working for a government entity. It's a lot different. And of course, all the great Main Street family that we have that cares so much about having a successful downtown and takes so much time to help each of our communities. So don't lose that great resource that we have. Don't let that slip away at all. You know, they have so much that they can offer to help us. And so just don't forget our mission and our vision that we've been doing. You know, each of the committees have been growing and revitalized and have work plans that aren't just low-hanging fruit right anymore, that they're big plans and they take time to do and they have steps to them. And there are things that we've needed to save money for because we haven't had the money right up front. And so the last couple of years, we've been saving money to do some of those things like fixing sidewalks and moving a depot and painting the light poles and redoing Battle Alley, building new restrooms, coming alongside businesses and building owners and helping them be more impactful, promoting Holly's in a way that brings people from all over the state to come and visit our cool historic village, and then just help keeping that all organized and running smoothly through our organization committee. And when you keep that mission and vision in mind, know that you're doing it to make Holly a better place, and it'll be okay. Don't let the haters nag on you too much. People who don't really know what we're doing or what we're trying to accomplish, or people who shouldn't be throwing stones in their glass house or saying that we're dingy. You know, people who try to use the DDA as a political gain. It's not right. And you guys are better than all of that. And so just continue that mission of promoting Holly as being the next greatest destination place that it deserves to be. And I'm here, and I think I'm leaving the DDA in a better place. And I've hoped to take it to the next level, like each DDA director before me has done. And I feel I'm leaving it, though, in very capable hands that you guys are going to take it even farther to the next level. So thank you.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Nick. Thank you, Nick.
And now it's Jerry's turn.
How do you follow that? So I have just a couple of really housekeeping items for the DDA as we're in this transition period right now. So just to make sure that things run smooth as we're going forward. So the first thing is, and really we ran into this, brought it to my attention in discussion with Jerome last week about the Dickens Festival and wanting something to go onto the council agenda. So in the past and in the future, your director will handle putting things on the council agenda that needs approval. In that interim period of time, I don't know if you've determined exactly who your point person is going to be for that, but that needs to be done the Wednesday prior to the council meeting. If it is not presented the Wednesday prior to the council meeting, it will not be on the agenda because we have to advertise the agenda and the items that are on there. So just procedural-wise, just so that you know that. Now, in saying that, I have had discussions already with Linda and Jerome as the chair and the vice chair, and I have experience as an executive director with the DDA. In addition, Nick and I work together on a daily basis. Probably nobody will miss Nick in the community or in the office more than I will because of our close relationship, not only as a friend, but as a coworker. So just so you know kind of how things work within village administration is we have developed a team concept. And so I meet with all of the department heads, and we've included the DDA director's position in that department head classification or function for meeting purposes on at least a bi-weekly basis. Over the summer, it's been pretty monthly. But on a bi-weekly basis, and we sit around the table, and basically what happens is the police chief tells what's happening that is not confidential within the police department, the fire department the same, Public Works the same, clerk treasurer the same, DDA the same. And then once everybody is through, given their updates, usually the statement is, Do you have any suggestions? Like Nick would say that to the rest of the group. Do you have any suggestions on how we can improve things? And so we really put some team concept into all of that stuff. I would encourage, as you look for a new DDA director, that you look for that type of team collaborative person. But I think that team collaboration, I think that is not only something you look for in the DDA, the next DDA director, I think it's something that you keep in mind also as a board, because I think it's important that the board looks at that. Because in reality, you'll talk to your DDA director a lot, but you won't do business once a month. And so at your board meetings. And so in between that time, I think you need a close liaison or working with whomever the village manager is. As you know, I'm retiring in December, but you'll need that close working relationship. My suggestion would be over the next 3 months, 3.5 months before I retire, is that if you would like, I can run point on day-to-day operations, report back to the chair or to the board. Totally up to you, however you want to do that. I would also encourage, I know there are 2 job descriptions that are floating around for the DDA director. One job description, I think, was supplied by Oakland County. There is another job description that we used with Nick, in which the day-to-day functions were not directed by the village manager, but were monitored by the village manager. Because you have expenses that occur every single day, and the DDA, the director needs some direction on that. I would just ask you to consider that as you're sculpting your new direction and your new job description for your manager. Meeting minutes, so you're going to run into this already next month. The staff at the village office, as Nick said, they're excellent. I have not asked them yet because I have not been asked to. If you would like, I will see if any of the clerical staff is interested in taking minutes, unless somebody from the board wants to take minutes. If somebody from the staff takes minutes, it's a union position, just so you know. So there'll be a small amount of pay, but you're talking 2 hours of pay. But if you want that, you need to let me know.
Okay.
If you want that. And the last, 2 more things. Meeting room access, you've talked a little bit about it. You do have some meeting room access here. As long as it's a controlled situation where we know who has the key, just because of the equipment that's in here and who's going to be responsible. We wouldn't want you to take the key and just turn it over to some committee member without a board member being responsible. So you do have meeting room access. Just, I think the police department is a good meeting room because there's somebody there 24 hours, but they're going to be doing some renovation and construction in that room at some point during this year. So you do have that access. And then the very last things, so I think you made a good move tonight with the Dickens Festival and support of that. I think you probably know, I don't know if you know to what extent, that you also have some commitment to holidays. And I think holidays, just as Ms. Cuxey said, is a good event for the village too. And I think that it benefits the DDA district. Over the past several years, the DDA director, being Nick, has worked on a committee with myself and Sarah McCanney in putting together that framework of holidays. And the DDA has made a financial contribution of $2,000, which is in the budget. And so that is already a budgeted amount, but just so you know, that's kind of been the contribution in that area. Now, I meet in October with the Parks Commission to talk about the future of 4th of July fireworks and holidays, because I was so involved in those, and with myself leaving and Nick leaving, the Parks Commission is going to have to pick up a little more responsibility in those areas also. But I would like to be able to, unless you folks tell me no, I would like to tell the Parks Commission that the DDA, at least for right now, plans on continuing holidays into the future, just as they have for the past several years, as far as participation in the holidays and the financial $2,000. So, I mean, if you, yeah, I mean, and I don't need a vote on it. I mean, if it's just consensus that, you know what, we value holidays and we want to continue on with it as, that's what I'll pass on to them.
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would think so.
Great.
Yep. Would anybody have any questions of me? Okay,
No, I think it benefits everyone.
Yeah.
It's great.
okay.
Is that all?
That's all.
Okay. Board comments. Ryan, do you have any?
Just to say that council will be voting on an appointment to the DDA board for the resident seat tomorrow evening. Hopefully that will go through, and that appointee is Jim Koskela.
Okay. Kari, anything else?
Nick, we're going to miss you. Thank you for everything you've done. There are big shoes to fill, for sure. So thank you again.
Okay.
Holly?
Yes, I do have to say that Hillary, Mr. Walker did mention team collaboration, and I do feel as long as I've been a business here and a DDA board member, besides the Klump family, you are the biggest volunteer in this town. Not only with events and activities, I know individual businesses that have needed your help, and you've been more than willing to assist them. I know other organizations like the Chamber of Commerce has reached out to you because you are a powerhouse volunteer person. You're always there. You're at every event. And I want to thank you for that. I would like to see you on this board in the future, for sure. The other thing I want to share is our Coffee Connection, part of promotions. We've had 2 meetings so far, Tuesday mornings. And it's been great. It's a great way for businesses to collaborate and be together and kind of brainstorm, talk about successes, things that we would like to happen. So the last meeting, what we kind of got out of it was a little bit about our social media, kind of having more of a social media plan for Facebook and Instagram. So it's not so willy-nilly, but we actually have a calendar of things that are going to be posted, whether it's great things happening with the DDA, like Ms. Hillman mentioned, to talk about great things that DDA is doing, like the trees and the parks. The next one is going to be Tuesday morning, September 17th, and we've invited Chief of Police Jerry Narsh. And it's a really, really important coffee connection. If anyone can make it, it's going to take place at Battle Alley. Because some of the topics I think are very, very important that he's going to cover. One is about employee hiring and background checks, video security systems, which I know even for Battle Alley Coffee was super important even in most recent times. Police access to the files for video audio security systems. Staff training on different situations and awareness. And one of the big things too that they're going to work on is collective group training for an active shooter, which I think in this day and age is very important. I as a business owner would have not a clue what to do. So I'm really, really excited about that, and I think that's going to be really, really great for businesses to attend. So we're excited.
Thanks for putting this.
And Nick, I'm excited to celebrate you tonight. You're a great man.
Okay. Dave? Do you have any comments?
Nothing other than, got to thank Nick. Appreciate everything you've done for the community and certainly for our little business.
Jerome?
Yeah, just more reiteration of that. Thank you, Nick. I'm relatively new to this board, but I think you've heard my voice somewhat before that. And so, just thank you for everything you've done, and I know you're not going to be serving in the current role that you're in, but I know you're also well enough that you're not going to leave Holly, so we'll see you around, I'm sure, somewhere, probably at Ziggy's.
Definitely if you go to Ziggy's.
And I guess the only other comment I have is that I wondered if Ryan would share a little bit about the individual you're appointing, because I don't know who that is. Can you give a little background or any of that?
Certainly. Jim Koskela has lived here in Holly for the past several years. He currently serves on our Planning Commission, and I don't think there was anything, it was just planning, correct? Yep, currently serves on our Planning Commission. He's an Air Force veteran, and therefore very involved with the American Legion and the VFW. You will often see him at council meetings making public comment. He's a very, very thoughtful, deliberate person. Anytime I ever hear him speak, I appreciate it because oftentimes he will bring ideas and or constructive criticisms before the council that I at least had not thought of previously. So I think that you will like him a lot and will work very well with him if indeed he is approved by council tomorrow.
Yeah, okay, cool, thank you.
Okay, John?
Yeah, I'd also like to thank Nick for his dedication and his family. We've known him for all of our life, and they're a wonderful family. Other than that, I do have a question about the board. Did we ever do anything about the lock boxes? Were we going to participate in that program?
The knock boxes?
Knox box, lock box, well, yeah.
We added those to the
I think.
economic vitality work plans last month.
Okay,
And so they're going to be meeting with Kurt Nitschke. He's the fire marshal now. He kind of took some of Jeremy's role, Chief Watson's roles once he became chief. And he has some ideas of being able to place those and have so many keys and also some grant opportunities to help
Okay.
pay for it, so.
All right, thank you.
And I think that also came to light with the recent fire at Wolverine, and they had
Yeah.
difficulty getting into certain areas of the building. So I think it's risen to a level at which we need to do something.
Okay.
Okay, and I also will express my appreciation to Nick. There's many times that I text him at all hours, and on the weekends, I'm sure much to Jenny's chagrin, but.
Yeah, don't say that loud, she might block you from my phone.
I know.
She really likes Sunday.
Yeah,
Text her on
I know. And I will try to keep the text down to a minimum after you leave, but I know that we will need to still reach out to you for certain things, and we certainly appreciate everything you've done.
Most definitely.
Okay, and with that, it is 6:57, and we will adjourn this meeting and continue the celebration of Nick over at the Red Devil.
Yep.